Everyone in the room thought the millionaire had lost everything. His empire, his reputation, his future. But when the military officers asked him the question that would decide the fate of hundreds of lives, he simply smiled and looked toward the door. A quiet, steady sound of boots echoed in the hallway. No one knew who was coming. No one expected her. But the millionaire already knew. His secret weapon wasn't money, wasn't power, it was his daughter. Raymond Hale wasn't just any millionaire. He was a self-made man, a builder of companies, a man whose handshake could open doors and whose smile could calm storms. But behind all his success was a truth very few people understood. Everything he built, everything he fought for, everything he protected was for her. Her name was Elena Hale, 26 years old, disciplined, calm, and sharper than any blade. From childhood she lived by two things her father taught her. 1. Strength isn't loud. 2. And heroes don't need an audience. Elena had grown up watching her father survive failures, betrayals, economic storms, and sleepless nights. But instead of joining his business empire, she chose a path no one expected. She joined the military. Raymond had remained silent when she told him, not stopping her, not pushing her, just placing a hand on her shoulder with quiet pride. He watched her leave, her boots echoing down the hallway, the same hallway she now walked years later. Elena rose quickly, trained as a marksman, then as a reconnaissance specialist. Her focus was unmatched. She didn't talk much, she didn't brag. But her commanders always said the same thing. When she is in the field, the mission changes from impossible to done. But Raymond never publicly spoke about her service. People whispered, he must be ashamed she didn't join his company. Others said, maybe she failed in business. But none knew the truth. Raymond didn't show her off because he didn't need to. His daughter was his pride, his strength, his quiet victory. Then one day, his world nearly collapsed. A major security threat surfaced, something dangerous enough that both government and private sectors were on edge. Raymond's company was one of the targets. The officials came to meet him in a secured mountain facility. They asked him, Mr. Hale, you've built the most advanced security systems. What weapon are you planning to use to protect your assets? Everyone expected him to reveal a secret machine, elite guards, drones, or a technology no one had heard of. But Raymond simply smiled. A weapon, he said softly. No, I don't need a weapon. The officers looked confused. Suddenly, a sharp metallic hiss from security doors filled the room. The air changed. Someone was approaching. Raymond stepped aside. And Elena Hale walked in, uniform crisp, expression calm, eyes locked forward like steel sharpened by storms she had already survived. The officers froze. Raymond finally spoke, his voice steady. Gentlemen, this is Elena, my daughter. My secret weapon. The officers didn't expect someone so young, composed, and deadly focused to be the answer. She didn't smile. She didn't bow. She simply set her rucksack on the table and opened a map. Her voice was calm but firm. You don't need a fortress, she said. You need eyes in the right place, and someone who knows how to breathe when the world is falling apart. She began analyzing the threat, point by point, explaining weak zones, likely infiltration routes, and timing patterns the best analysts had missed. She talked with the precision of someone who didn't just read files, she felt them. The men in the room watched her in awe. She wasn't intimidating, she was disciplined. She wasn't loud, she was confident. Her presence didn't command fear, it commanded trust. As they prepared a plan together, Raymond stood in the corner silently, and for the first time in years, Elena felt his eyes on her. Not worried, not afraid, proud. Finally, one officer leaned forward. How did you learn to see patterns like this? He asked. Elena didn't hesitate. My father, she replied. He taught me that when a storm hits, you don't hide behind walls, you stand where others won't. Raymond's breath caught in his throat, because those were the exact words he had once told her when she was 10 years old, during the worst year of his business life. By nightfall, the plan was complete. Elena led the operation. Her calm voice, her steady breathing, and her unbreakable discipline guided everyone through the crisis. When the threat was finally neutralized, officers gathered around her, not to congratulate her, but to thank her. As dawn broke over the mountains, Raymond approached her quietly. You saved everything, he said. No, she replied, finally smiling. I just protected what you built like you protected me. He closed his eyes for a moment, because even a man like Raymond Hale feared and respected by thousands, knew the truth: money can build empires, but only love builds warriors. And Elena Hale, the soldier walking beside him, was living proof of that. In the end, the world learned something powerful: a millionaire's greatest investment isn't his wealth. It's the strength he raises inside his children. And sometimes, the strongest weapon in the world is a daughter who refuses to let her father fall.